Madam President, I'm here to talk about who runs America, the big tech giants or the American people. I'm here to talk about the big tech oligarchs' attempts to install themselves as the de facto ruling class of this country, to usurp the power of the people. And I'm here to talk about what we can do about it. For years, the tech giants, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they've spied on us without our knowledge. They've taken our private information without our consent, and they've used all of it to manipulate us and turn massive profits in which the American people have had no share. That's their business model. It's like the strip mining of America. But now, not content with exploiting and extracting the tech monopolies, want to control our news and opinions, and they want to intervene in a presidential election. For the better part of a week, the tech giants have been actively suppressing the reporting of Alexander Hamilton's newspaper, the New York Post. And why? Well, because they don't like the story, and they don't want people to read it. And they are willing to use their power to stop the distribution of a story written by the free press in this country. Now, this isn't about Hunter Biden's emails, though those are important, and we deserve to know whether Hunter Biden was giving his father kickbacks on payments from foreign oligarchs in exchange for changes to American foreign policy. But this is about something even more than that. This is about whether a small handful of corporate executives, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, Sergey Brin, and Larry Page, whether they get to decide who's allowed to see what, which newspapers are allowed to break the big stories and which ones are censored, which political party will get bad news suppressed at the height of the election season, and which one will get it amplified. And most important, it's about you. It's about what normal, everyday Americans get to see. It's about what you get to say. It's about the news you read in your news feeds and the content that comes to you in your notifications and your video playlists, because yes, the tech companies control all of those things, and they use them to try to shape what you're thinking, even how you're feeling. Oh yeah, they've run experiments on all of that. They've run experiments on how to manipulate the content that they control and deliver to you in order to manipulate your emotions and influence your views, to influence how you feel and what mood you're in, and yes, what presidential candidate you favor. It's their roller coaster, and we're all just riding on it. That's their world. That's the world that they want. That's the America that they want. The struggle against the tech giants is a struggle for control. Do the tech platforms control America, or do we control them? And it's time the United States Senate did something about it. This body is supposed to represent the people of this nation. This body is supposed to defend the people's interests, but for too long, this body has done the bidding of big tech. It has given tech lavish government handouts and then looked the other way while tech captured one government agency after another. Do you know a recent news report found that the FTC, the body in charge of enforcing, supposedly, much of our antitrust law and our competition law, that 2/3 of the FTC's employees have conflicts of interest related to tech? That's good old-fashioned government capture by big business, by the mega corporations. And that's exactly what has been going on in Washington for years, right under the nose of the United States Senate. And if we're being honest, it's really no surprise. Tech has spent outrageous sums of money to purchase influence in the capital of the United States. It is time for those days to end. This body must act in defense of the American people, and we can. We can tear down the main pillars of big tech's power. We don't have to tolerate their monopolies. We don't have to accept their stranglehold over speech and our data and our news and our personal information and our social communications. We can force them to change the way they do business rather than allowing them to force us to change how we think. We can ban manipulative ads, and we should. We can repeal the immunity shield. We can crack down on addictive platform design. And I've introduced plenty of legislation over the last 22 months to do all of that. And I'm still waiting for a vote on almost all of it. Heck, I'm still waiting for hearings on any of it. If this body is not ready or willing to say that these platforms need to change the essence of what they do, well, then let's at least tell them that they cannot censor us with impunity. Let's at least make them live up to their word when they tell us that they want open conversation. Let's at least tell them that if they violate their promises to us and if they censor us arbitrarily, then we can have our day in court to fight back. Let's at least put some power back in the hands of the American people to fight the tech giants, and let's allow Americans to have their day in court. And that's why I'm moving this legislation here, now, today, on this floor, to provide every American that right. We should get this done now. There should be no further delays. And let's haul those tech executives in to testify under oath about what they did last week and at whose behest. Let's get binding commitments from them under penalty of perjury about how they'll do their work in the short remaining days of this election season and about the future of their censorship policies. Let's get the truth out of them. And I would just say to my fellow Republicans, we're supposed to be the opponents of concentrated power. That's what the fight against big government has been about all along. So what have we been doing with our Senate majority to fight the greatest concentration of power Americans face today? What have we been doing to confront this great threat to American democracy? Well, let's just tell the truth. The truth is many members of the Republican establishment love big tech. They love it. The think tanks love the money that big tech contributes to them. The lobbyists love the work that they provide. It's a gravy train. The politicians love the cheap ads that they get to run on Facebook. Now, Washington, D.C. does really well under the current arrangement, really well. Big tech works really well for Washington. Heck, big tech owns half the town. But if you're an everyday American, if you're an independent journalist, if you're a pro-life advocate, if you're somebody who doesn't have the approval of big tech, if you're somebody who doesn't have an inside track to the good graces of the tech giants, well, then the message to you is really simple. Do what tech tells you to do, or they'll silence you. No corporation should run America, and definitely not big tech. We've squandered precious time already. The tech giants have been allowed to grow too powerful, too big. Now we must act while we still have time remaining and stand up and be counted before it is too late. And now, as if in legislative session, Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Commerce be discharged from further consideration of S. 3983 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered, made, and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Madam President,
Senator from Hawaii.
reserving the right to